Imagine saving money for years to visit Paris. The city of romance, the city of fashion, the city of dreams. You picture yourself standing under the Eiffel Tower looking cool and sophisticated. But for me, things didn't exactly go according to plan. It all started the moment I landed in Paris. I walked out of the airport feeling confident. I had sunglasses. I had a fancy jacket. I had watched at least 3 travel videos. I was basically an expert. Or so I thought. My first goal was simple. Find my hotel. Easy, right? Wrong. 30 minutes later, I somehow ended up on the wrong train heading in the opposite direction. At this point I wasn't exploring Paris. Paris was exploring me. After finally finding my hotel, I dropped my bags and rushed out to see the Eiffel Tower. This was the moment. The dream. The reason millions visit Paris every year. I turned the corner. And there it was. The Eiffel Tower. Beautiful, majestic, massive, and directly in front of it, about 500 tourists all trying to take the exact same photo. Everywhere I looked people were posing. One person was pretending to hold the tower. Another was pretending to kick the tower. One guy looked like he had been trying to get the perfect selfie for 3 hours. I joined the crowd. After 47 attempts, I finally got a photo where my eyes were open, nobody walked in front of me, and the tower wasn't growing out of my ear. Success. Or so I thought. Later I realized my finger was covering half the camera. Amazing. Next stop. French food. Everyone says Paris has the best food in the world. I found a small cafe and confidently ordered in what I thought was perfect French. The waiter smiled politely, then answered me in English. Not only did he know I wasn't French, he knew immediately. It wasn't even close. I ordered a croissant. Simple. Safe. How can you mess up a croissant? Well, apparently by dropping half of it onto your shirt. 5 minutes into Paris and I looked like I had been attacked by a bakery. Still, the croissant was incredible. Actually, everything tasted incredible. The coffee, the pastries, the desserts. At one point I ate so much that I started wondering if my return flight charged extra for carrying a Paris-sized stomach. Then came the Louvre Museum, home of the famous Mona Lisa. I imagined a huge painting displayed proudly in a giant room. Instead, I found myself squeezed into a crowd of people all holding their phones above their heads. Everyone was trying to take the same picture. I finally reached the front. And there she was. The Mona Lisa, smaller than I expected, but still impressive, although I spent more time looking at other tourists looking at the Mona Lisa than looking at the Mona Lisa herself. Then I decided to experience Paris like a local. I rented a bicycle. Now this seemed like a fantastic idea. For exactly 7 minutes. After that, I discovered 2 important facts. Number 1. Parisians know where they're going. Number 2. I absolutely did not. I spent the next hour accidentally creating my own sightseeing tour. Every wrong turn led to another beautiful street, another cafe, another amazing building. Eventually I stopped trying to find my destination. I was having too much fun getting lost. And honestly, that's when Paris became magical. Not at the famous landmarks. Not at the tourist attractions. But while wandering around with no plan at all. As evening arrived, the city transformed. Lights reflected on the River Seine. Street musicians played music. The Eiffel Tower sparkled. People laughed in cafes. And suddenly I understood why Paris is so famous. It's not just the monuments. It's the atmosphere, the feeling, the small moments. Of course, my final Paris disaster was still waiting. On my last day, I confidently headed to the airport. This time I was determined not to get lost. I checked everything twice. I arrived early. I felt like a professional traveler. Then I realized, I was at the wrong airport. Apparently Paris has more than one. Perfect. After a frantic taxi ride that felt like a Formula 1 race through France, I made my flight with minutes to spare. As the plane took off, I looked down at Paris one last time. I had gotten lost, embarrassed myself, taken terrible photos, and nearly missed my flight. But somehow, it was one of the best trips of my life. Because Paris isn't perfect, and maybe that's what makes it unforgettable. So if you've ever been to Paris, what's the funniest thing that happened to you? Tell us in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next adventure.